Hello everybody and welcome back to the Best Friends Club Podcast. We are your hosts. My name is Charlotte.
And my name is Fizz. And we're back.
We're back. I think we say that every single episode. Maybe we
Yes,
need a new
we do.
catchphrase.
We do. I think it's accurate. It's like I think it's stuck around, so I think we should just keep it. Unless we can come up with something. We're not like scripting any of this. This is just how it happens.
I don't think anyone was under the illusion that we scripted this.
No, does it not come across as that?
If you thought that this was scripted, then please tell me why, because this is chaos.
We just kind of show up and we're like, okay, let's do this.
But yeah, we're back. Wow, surprise. And we're here to discuss another video. We're on the roll. This is the last video of 2014. We can finally move on to 2015. I hadn't realised that.
Yeah, and I think, because I do like the episodes playlist, if you'll see on our thing, I think the first joint video is like around February, March. There's nothing in January.
Wow,
so we'll be doing
a dry
like
January.
It is really. So I think we'll be like exact 10 years apart from a lot of the videos that we're gonna do, which is fun.
Wow, that's fun. That is fun. And I'm like in my fan Twitter era coming into 2015. So that makes things more exciting.
It is, yeah. Okay.
I'll have
Amazing.
genuine reactions to things from the time, which will be fun.
Same. I should have looked at my own film this year, but I feel like I wasn't really live reacting at the time. I was just sort of sitting, watching, stunned at what was happening on my screen.
I did find some of my like tweet reactions from when they uploaded this, and it was just key smashing and just screaming. To be honest, there was nothing coherent at all.
Exactly, that was the culture. To be fair, like that's just what we did.
I did find something really fun though. So by complete chance, I like loaded up my old iPod that I haven't used since like 2018, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going through the notes that were on it, and I found a notes app thing that I made about this video.
Oh my god, so you like have those notes and then you have your notes from today. That's amazing.
This is literally like my live reaction from the time. So I don't know whether we want to read that at the beginning or at the end, but maybe at the end.
Maybe at the end. Yeah. So so that's the structure. We have not told people what this video is.
I mean, I hope that they've read the title on Spotify or whatever other audio streaming platform you use.
Yeah, but we still have to introduce
We do, that's right. Quick surprise the listeners, Fizz. What video are we talking about?
Today we're back in PINOF-land. So we're talking about Fizz on Fire 6, which is the most viewed PINOF to date.
It's the most viewed PINOF. And do you know what? I can kind of see why.
Do you?
Do you disagree?
I have a controversial opinion.
I also have a controversial opinion about this video, but I think mine will be different to yours from what you've just said.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
But it is the most viewed. I think it was November 6th or 7th, depending on, time zone. Mine says 7th, so.
Mine says 6th, so I presume that it was the 6th.
It was the 6th, right.
And they were uploaded like literally a week, 10 days after the Halloween baking video.
So they were on it, like they were working.
Literally. I wrote in my notes, so I looked through Phil's tweets. They filmed this at 10 p.m. on the 4th of November. And Phil did a tweet on the 4th of November at 10 p.m. asking people for questions and things to submit for the video. So I think this is very in keeping with their let's film this at 2 a.m. 2 days before we need to upload it kind of vibe.
Yeah, definitely. Which I really appreciate, with how like important the video series like got. You think they pre-filmed it and like had a lot of prep for it, but no, that energy like stuck around for 10 years, which is
I think that's
cool.
Just the nature of the video though, isn't it? Like film it super quick, then upload it, get it done. I think it's one of those like it's like a haze. Like they put the PINOF goggles on and they just do it and they upload it and then don't think about it ever again.
Yeah, exactly. and they just sort of like, in my head, they like huff the Sharpie fumes before they put them on.
Yeah. And so it's like, you know, when people like take drugs and they go on a trip. This
Mm.
is that for Dan and Phil. Like they snuff the Sharpie fumes
They
and
know
they
how to
go on
live.
and they go on a trip. And the trip is recording PINOF, editing PINOF, and uploading PINOF.
Yes, and then you're right. They just completely forget about it. It's great.
So I actually remember this one really well. Like when I was watching it, I was
Mhm.
like, yeah, I could recite this off by heart.
Ooh, that's fun. I get a lot of the stuff from 6 and 7 and 8 mixed up, or at least I think 6 and 7 specifically, because 8 they have different hairstyles, but 6 and 7 is pretty bad for me. I'm kind of like, whoa, I didn't know this was this year. Um, but there are a lot of like moments, like capital M moments from this one.
Yeah, I would agree. Lots of like I think not big things, but like rememberable. That's not a word. Memorable,
Memorable.
memorable, memorable moments that like stick in my head, which is why I think I just remember this one really well.
Exactly. Like I remember. So we'll get into it. But I think I'll say like from the first moment. So my first note is obviously the whole wait, something's missing, and then they do the bit with the Sharpie and everything. Um, I feel like this is the start of it. There being like a format to spin-offs, because they do it every single one after this one. So they're always like an entrance for the whiskers to happen, if that makes sense. Entrance?
Yeah,
Introduction.
introduction. Yeah, that makes sense.
Hmm.
No, I agree. I think they've like they're 6 episodes in and they've like nailed the format now.
Exactly. They're like, this is their cold open. Uh,
I mean, the cold open is Phil doing up his zip, and
oh
it looks like
God.
he's having a wank on camera.
I really the way you said that is so direct. I feel like if he did that now, that's what they would say. But
Yeah,
back then, it's like, it looks really bad from here. Stop it.
I mean, so I
um,
did watch the
Reaction.
Dan and Phil's reaction to
Hmm.
this, and they were a bit more sort of blunt in what they reacted to.
Yes, exactly. Even after, like later on in the video, they were like, hee hee hee, the way they're saying these things, which is very, yeah, exactly. Like the 2014 is very strong.
Yeah,
I feel like this is 2014 was like the just before, I think there were a lot of young, like very obviously younger people in the fandom.
yeah.
I don't know why I think that. I don't know. It just feels like that to me. And
No,
I
that
was
makes
young, like I was 16. So I don't know what I'm
you were. Yeah,
saying.
you were a baby.
I just mean babier than me.
Um, One of the first things that I noted about this, literally like a minute in, this one feels so fast paced and quick. I don't know if you felt like that, but it felt like it was like just everything was firing out and like the editing was like really slick and choppy.
Yes, I agree. I have a different opinion to from that, from like the bloopers, but the bloopers is just like cut up clips, so I don't really blame them for being like slow. I think so. I was gonna say this later as like an overall opinion, but I think the editing is really fast, like you said, but I feel like it could have done well with like more unhinged editing from like 2009 and 2010, with like
Oh, some
color
like fun
changes.
effects.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That's the only like sort of minus thing that I would give it
that's
in
fair enough.
editing.
Maybe because of the tight schedule, like maybe I don't know, maybe they were tired. Maybe they
Maybe they
edited this at
are.
like 2 a.m.
Maybe, yeah. I don't blame them. I'm just like, that's something that I noticed for myself, for my tastes. It's all subjective. Please don't send me hate.
Please send Fizz hate.
No, I've gone 12 years without it.
Well, it's time then. You know, your time has come.
Oh my
Send
damn!
Fizz
So
hate.
this is the thing.
We'll find something to cancel you for.
Oh Jesus! I feel like something I say will be my downfall, so I'm being very, very careful.
So, of course, this is the iconic Phil's Not on Fire 6 with the Lizard song.
Yes, our
That is an
very first.
earworm in every
Yeah,
single fanny's brain. If you don't know this song, are you even a real fanny?
fun.
No.
Exactly. And the way everyone remembers it, no matter how many times you've heard it, even if you've heard it once, it is just in your head.
It is like a little earworm, and even Dan and Phil remembered it when they reacted to
Exactly.
it. They literally sung, they messed up like a couple of words, but they knew the whole thing and then sung
Ad
along
libs and
to it.
all. Yeah.
It's iconic. They are so good at writing lyrics. It's a fact.
It is a fact. I mean, they are seasoned writers. I feel
They
like they've
are.
done it since day one.
Maybe they wrote this because they were getting warmed up to write the song for Tatanoff. Because I think we'd sort of discussed in the last episode that they were probably having ideas for the tour and the book
Hmm,
at this point, or they would
that's
have at least
true.
been maybe approached by publishers or whatever to
That's true.
start this
Also,
process. Well, they definitely would have now because they were writing it at Christmas, weren't they? Because as we saw
yes,
in the making of, so we're beginning of November. Like we definitely are in the depths of doing things. So yeah, maybe this
planning.
was them practicing writing for The Internet Is Here.
I would not be surprised. I also know. I mean, I wish I had my copy of Tabnoff because they do have a spread of their like songs, like their
They
little
do.
album.
They do, yeah.
I don't know if lizards and well, only just lizards, not ladders. But I wonder if lizards is in it because they did a lot of last minute pages like the Japan stuff, which
I think
happened.
Lizards is, I'm pretty sure that Lizards is in there.
It should be there. If it's not there, that's crazy. It should be like a lead single on their album. IMO. Hmm. What else? I mean, there was also I found something really surprising. Oh, not surprising to me because I was there at the time, but I think people would find it very interesting that Phil is the one whose branding was houseplants at the beginning because right
I made
now
a note of that as well.
because it's so like it's so funny to see it happening in that time, right? Because now it's all like Dan's houseplants, but actually Phil was the one who brought the first few ones in the house. He's the one who made the merch. I have the pins,
Yeah,
the 3 pins that he had come out with, and then like his t-shirts and everything. Um, but yeah, like he was the one being made fun of for it at the
yeah.
time. Just
My
because
my note
he was.
about this was Phil being the plant guy, yet he kills them all.
Oh yeah, exactly. Apparently they kept a bunch alive, but I don't think it was from effort by Phil. No
No.
offense. No.
Like, what happened? When did the switch happen to Dan being the plant guy? That's my question.
I think he realized how much he could do with like home decor and not just have his house be black and white. He was like, oh, actually, I can add this color. Or that's my theory because it's just all over their home right now. Like every home they've had since, which is like two, um, they love like a tree or a garden or a terrarium, don't they?
Yeah, I think a lot of that is Dan and his enjoyment of the ritual of taking care of something that is not
But
himself, and like the whole aquascaping that he really got into and hyperfixated on. I think that's a Danism.
yes, I completely agree. I like that you said ritual because that makes a lot of sense in my head. The ritual
Yeah,
of taking care of plants. You're so right.
Dan loves a ritual. He loves processes. He loves routines.
Which is,
Please don't listen to this, Dan. I'm not psychoanalyzing you, I promise.
it's just what happens when you watch a guy for like 14 years.
Honestly, why is he paying money for therapy when I'm sure that there are hundreds of fannies out there who could analyze his deepest, darkest thoughts and give him some sort of resolution about them?
Oh my god. I'm sure some of the fannies are also therapists, so like find.
I'm sure they
Oh, I
are,
guess
exactly. Phil had one, didn't he?
didn't he like for like a second until they both realized who he was, which
Yeah.
must be such a wild thing for the therapist to be like. Surely, like, must have seen the name Phil Lester and been like, surely not. Surely
Unless he
that's
uses
not
maybe like, not a fake name, but unless he
an alias.
some sort of like alias. I don't know, maybe he
Mm.
uses like, he doesn't use his full name or something like that. I don't know.
Ooh, who knows? I don't know
Or I
how.
suppose maybe if you were like a therapist and you got someone like inquiring whose name was Phil Lester, why would you think that it was him? Do you know what I mean? You'd be like, well, that's crazy. Like, it's not going to be the Phil Lester.
Yeah, exactly. But then I don't know. To me, because I'm not in the UK, it just sounds like such a weird name. I'd be like, whoa.
Yeah, I don't think it's that common of a name, but even so, maybe you'd still be a bit like, nah, there's no way it's actually him. There could be another one out there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I think I would not believe it until like the second he walked in or he joined the Zoom call or whatever it
Hmm.
was, and then I'd be like, "Whoa, actually, we can't. Sorry, I'm a huge fan.
I would
We
not
can't
want
do
to. Can
this."
you even imagine, like, being a fanny and, like, having Phil Lester as your... If you're a therapist and having Phil as your, like, client, that would be insane. I'd... You wouldn't know what to say. I'd have to be like, no, I don't need to know these things. Like, you can keep this to yourself. Go and tell somebody else.
Please, please, like go find someone else. I cannot be living with all of this knowledge. Also, like I'd be scared
You'd
of
have
getting
to quit.
caught.
You'd have to quit the fandom. You'd have to just delete every single piece of social media and just never speak ever again.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Jesus, yeah.
Anyway, the
Hmm.
anaconda dance.
Oh God, I didn't like it. I watched it and I was like, this is not
Do you know who else didn't like it, Fizz? Timmy.
Debbie.
Timmy also didn't like it. Contrary to popular belief, Timmy's
Hmm.
voice was silenced.
Oh God. Yeah, no, I also thought that the song was much older than 2014, but maybe not.
Again, Dan made this comment in the reaction video. He said, if you told me that Anaconda came out 3 years ago, I'd be like, yeah, sure, of course it did. But it was 10. It was like 10 from when they filmed that in 2023.
Yeah, but again, like he thought it was newer. I think it's much, much older.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I have no concept of time. And like 2014, that was when 1989 came out. So, oh, that makes a lot of sense now. Okay, okay, that makes sense to me. Like that Shake It Off and Anaconda came out in the same year. See, that's how that. Sorry, Swifty, one track mind, but but yeah, I when the when the Timmy likes it bit happened, I was like, oh, this isn't funny anymore. That's when I'm like, maybe that's what's appealing to like younger audiences. I
It
don't
was
know.
just so weird. It was just a weird,
It was so
strange
weird.
thing. But it's like, in my head, it's like still so funny. Like Dan's voice when he's literally just like caressing the
The
snake
snake.
across his
Yeah.
genitals and his ass. Like, okay, sure.
Sure.
Timmy
Exactly.
does not like it. Let him speak his mind.
Oh god, we should like interview Timmy, this stuffed snake, because
I'm just
that
imagining. I just can't help but keep thinking of that Oprah and Meghan Markle interview. Were
when
you
you
silent or were you silenced? Let Timmy speak his truth.
and the funny thing, that snake has lived so many lives, because if you haven't been, obviously like us, you haven't been watching all these videos back, you would forget that that snake started out as like the Crave Challenge snake, like he was just
Yeah.
being thrown around,
And now here
and
he
now
is,
now here he is
living his best life in the Faust. I hope they still have him.
in storage, I'm sure,
I hope
with the
he's in
things
like
that they have.
Phil's. Yeah, I hope he's in like Phil's big box of dreams or something. That big like storage chest he used to have of
The
props.
one with the one with lead in it, I don't think he has it anymore. But in
And
storage, like with the dill
yeah,
head.
in storage hopefully with the dill head. No,
Hmm.
the dill head is in the Faust. That is has
Oh
a
yeah,
permanent
yeah, yeah.
residency. That's got its own special shelf in the Faust.
That's crazy to me. Can you believe that little guy like means so much to them?
That little guy,
Like Dill himself. I don't mean like that.
the dill head. Speaking of, I can't believe it's 2014. They make a Sherlock reference.
Yeah, I thought it had
Remember,
ended, but like
rem-
it must have been the last season, third season.
possibly, I don't remember. But yeah, wow, Sherlock, that was a
Oh
fun time.
God.
Remember, that was all anyone talked about.
Yes, it's the only. Oh, I've watched like two seasons of Supernatural at this point, but at the time, it was the only one of the three shows that I had watched
Wow.
from Super Hulu. Yeah.
Super Hulock, who remembers that?
Well, whoever was that one.
It's so funny because like these pin-offs are such like a time capsule of the time and like what was big in pop culture because obviously people wanted Dan and Phil to sort of react to it and respond to it.
Yeah, exactly. I think they say it in the reaction as well, like this, like we nailed pop culture because they talk about
Yeah.
that, Anaconda, American Horror Story, what else? Like all of those, right? So
Yeah, because there's a American Horror Story bit that comes up later on.
later on we'll talk about it, but mm, yeah, they're right though. Like they completely nail. I think the equivalent of that right now is the fan Twitter and TikTok
Hmm.
likes videos because
Yeah,
they
definitely.
they hit all of the big memes when they do these videos, which yeah, is fun.
Very fun. I wrote as one of my notes for this. I think that this pin-off is like peak Dan and Phil. They feel like they're at their best.
They feel like they're at their best, or you can like
I
you
feel
feel
I feel like they're at their best. Like I feel like they're just on top pin-off form with this one.
with this one. Okay, I think this is where my confusion with the 6 and 7 happens because I don't remember what. Now that I've watched 6, I'm like I don't remember what 7 is. So maybe you're right. Uh,
They just
yeah.
feel. I think they can just like you can just tell that they're really like in their stride with YouTube things, and they're having lots of fun with the video, and
Mm,
they look really comfortable on
yes.
screen.
Yes. Okay. Yes. 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 In that way, then yeah, definitely more than like 400% more than 4. Um, Also, this goes back to like what we were saying in I think in another episode about how they're more comfortable doing videos together after the gaming channel. So like this is 2 months into gaming together, so you can tell that they're kind of like they're a
Yeah,
lot more
absolutely.
tactile. Yeah, they're more. They're
Yeah,
more.
I made a note actually about. I don't know if you noticed. Dan looks at Phil so much in this video, like
Yes.
just little glances, like when they're just like sitting, just chatting.
Yeah, exactly. This is the start of us only seeing the one side of his face forever. Like we don't see the other side at all.
It's a chronic disease. He can't turn his head the other way.
And it's only ever where Phil's sitting. So it's like
Um,
we don't see Derek at all in this one.
so sad. Bring Derek
So sad.
back.
Bring Derek back. Hashtag bring Derek back. I also love this is way before, but stop Phil 2014. Hashtag.
Hashtag stop Phil 2014. So true. Hashtag
So
stop
true.
Phil 2025. Just keep it going.
So true. So true. 11 years on.
He's done. He must have done something recently that we can stop him for. Just completely unhinged behaviour, probably.
Probably. There's probably something in the 2 hour video that they sent, that they uploaded that I have not finished watching.
It was just a lovely HD clip of the start of the show. I mean, I suppose it's not a spoiler because people have probably seen it, but them doing their 5 minute history of Dan and Phil,
Yes. Okay,
and I
yes. That one. Yeah. Stop it. Stop it.
and I did post about it, and I said I don't need to see that in HD. I don't need to see any of that in HD. They can keep that to themselves.
Just zoomed in. Oh my god. I'm so afraid. It's gonna be. It's in a few days. It's in like 4 days.
Yeah, get your tickets if you haven't. Maybe we'll get this up before that comes out. Maybe we'll see.
Maybe. We'll see.
If we do, buy your tickets. If you haven't bought them, go get them.
Go get your tickets. Join the stream. I'm so afraid.
I'm also very afraid, but I'm also very excited. I've blocked my whole calendar out so I can be free to watch it.
I don't know if I'll be available, which is crazy. I need to go back to living alone and not seeing anyone so I can watch it. What's next? Ooh, my big next note is about the PINOF 79, Like it's
I have some bits
2087.
before that, but you can
Go
go
ahead.
ahead with that one if you want to.
Oh, really? Okay.
And we'll flip
Okay.
back. There's no
Okay.
chronological order to this. We can flip and switch between.
I love that.
We're versatile. Name that Dan reference.
Thank you. Um, so that one, I just wrote like shout out to the person who probably gave them the idea for doing that at that Nov. Unless I don't think it was an Easter egg. I think they they did that and they were like, wait, that could be like a really amazing way to transition into, or like add PINOF into the that Nov
Yeah.
story.
I think from watching them react to it, it definitely sounds like that they did the pin-off bit and that then spawned the idea to put it into Turn-Off.
Yes. Yeah. So shout out to that person. They probably deserve some kind of commission for it, but
Oh, they should. That's so sad.
that's so
Get
sad.
your
They should come
justice.
forward.
Sue Dan and
Yes.
Phil. Who are you?
I mean, if you're still around, get your bag, get your coin, make
Yeah,
some
get
money.
your coin.
Okay.
My favourite bit about that is Phil saying that his soul will be transplanted into a TV remote because that is
Same.
just so Phil.
So Phil, it also just like like he would also say it now.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
because he wants to live forever.
Yeah. He's with the robots, as we know.
It's just so sad. I love how like upset Dan is. He's like, Phil's been dead for 13 years.
Did he say? Wasn't there a video where he was like, "I'll be the first to go"? Like, don't like it's okay. I like
Yes,
the
I can't
will.
remember which one that is.
Like, he talked about his will, and I was like, "That's crazy."
Yeah, he definitely talked about that. I can't think where it was. If you can
Hmm.
remember, have a think for yourself and then remind us. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Going back to the bit before that I was going to talk about, them
Mhm.
trying to make each other laugh is so funny and so cute. The fact that Dan just says poo and Phil just instantly bursts out into laughter. He's such a
Yes.
child. And then Phil tries so hard, but Dan tries his best to keep his poker face. And Phil is just there
Hmm.
being like really silly.
Yeah.
And
And I
then,
think if he just stuck to the tickling of it, I think he would have won
yeah. The thing is, I
easily.
think Dan was just trying really hard not to laugh. I think that Phil could do anything and Dan would have just laughed because, as self proclaimed by Dan, Phil is the funniest person he knows.
Yes, it's true. I forgot about that, but yeah.
Just jumping forward in time as well to the Dan and Phil reacting to it. My favourite bit, I don't know if you remember this, but it is so funny. I must have watched this clip at least 10 times. So
Mhm.
they do this again in the reaction video. And
Yeah.
Dan just turns to Phil and he just says the word. They bleep it out, but I think it's very quite clear what he says. He just turns to Phil and he says the phrase, "Come Knuckles." And Phil loses it. And Dan laughs so loudly
Yeah.
and solidly for what feels like 30 years.
Yes. It was like, yeah, it was a really long time. I also, yeah, I remember that. That was unhinged.
It's so funny. I know it's not part of this video, but we will clip it up and edit it and we'll put it into this because it's so good.
It's so good.
Try and make the other person laugh.
Knuckles.
Where did that come from? I just knew. Right, wait.
It's so good. It's so good that like it's that sort of stuff that still makes them like laugh.
I don't even know what it means. I think I remember Googling it when they said it and I was
You
like, this
did?
isn't, yeah, I was like, what is this? Like, this isn't a thing.
It's not. I think he just came up with it. Right? Did you find anything?
Okay, so it is on Urban Dictionary.
Okay.
Oh, it's just when you're masturbating and getting a hand job, the cum shoots out and falls back onto the person's knuckles.
Oh, that's okay. I guess yeah. That's like
But
fine.
why? Why is Dad saying that? Why is that so funny?
I think it's just unexpected more than anything.
Wow. Anyway, back to 2014 and PINOF.
Mm.
They share a jumper. They touch. Can you believe it? In 2014, who would have thought?
Who would have thought? I also wrote, "Oh my god, they touched faces," in the same tone that like Dan says it in reactions. He's like, "Oh
Oh
my
my God, they
god,
touched. Yeah, you did touch. Let's freak out about it.
let's freak out about it." They also wore. It wasn't just that; it was also the same sweater,
It was
which is even more insane to me because knowing what's coming in a couple of years with the what is it?
the
The
pumpkin one,
conjoined,
yeah.
yeah, the pumpkin one.
The conjoined, whatever they make, pumpkin crispy video thing, whatever it is. I can't remember what they make.
We're so good at our job. Um, yeah. So this one's worse in every way,
Yeah,
in a few ways. What else? I did write. I noted like the mirror that they hold up when they're like, "What does the audience look like?" It's the mirror from Dan's mom,
yeah,
because which is what he tells us years later. Um, and she was like, "Do you want a funky lamp?"
yeah.
And he was like, "Do you think I want a funky lamp?" While there's like a pretty funky lamp in the background of that video. Like I think it's like a very weird lamp. And I was like, "Yeah, I think
Yes.
you would like a funky lamp actually."
I just think maybe his version of we know how much Dan loves a lamp. He loves to gift
Mm.
lamps, as is well documented.
And
But
yes,
maybe his version of a funky lamp is different to what his mum's version of a funky lamp is.
that's fair. We love Karen in this house.
We do love Karen.
I do love the mirror, and I hope whoever has it keeps it safe.
I presume he still has it. Maybe.
Oh really? I think he would have given it
You
away.
think he got rid of it? Who
Yeah.
knows? I mean, we haven't seen it, but we haven't seen a lot of the Faust, so can neither confirm. It's Schrodinger's mirror.
Sure.
Is the mirror there if we haven't seen it? Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? Yeah.
We did move on from another little bit as well, where they ask them to sexily advertise toilet roll. I can't remember the exact wording. And Phil says the most disgusting thing of, your butt won't be the only thing that gets wiped tonight.
My note on that is like I have hated every advertising related question that they've gotten since. I don't like it. I don't like it. It makes me so uncomfortable. I'm like, please don't speak to me that way.
Yeah, no, that one makes me uncomfortable as well. There was no need for him to say that.
Exactly. But ew.
Big ew.
Yeah, there was one in the bloopers though. There was another version that was pretty okay. I wish I could remember it if I wrote it. I did not
Yeah,
write it.
I didn't write that down, so I can't remember either. Wow, we're so good at making notes about these videos. Yeah, surprisingly, we don't make notes on every single thing they say.
Yeah, because
Just the important bits.
Just the important bits. Like,
Their impressions of each other.
their impressions of each other. Who do you think did a better job? They both did pretty bad, I know, but
Oh, I thought that they both did really good. Not good impressions, but I thought that they were both hilarious and incredible. And I loved it.
I did like it. I'm just thinking of like who did like a better job. I think Phil went a bit over the top with it.
And Dan didn't.
Oh, sorry. It's because I'm thinking in my head. I'm thinking of the blue T-shirts. I was like, oh yeah, that's Phil. No, they switched clothes again. So
Oh
yeah,
my
no.
God, they touched.
They touched. What did they say? Their nipple fibers or something. Ew.
Yeah, something like that.
Ew. Okay, yeah, no, I think Phil's was a bit like reductive and Dan's was very over the top. Like I feel like the existential crisis joke was just like,
It was very of the time, wasn't it?
yes, that's what I was thinking of. But Dan started out okay before he kind of went off the rails, which was funny, which was very funny, I will admit.
I think that they were just very like caricaturized. Is that a word? Characterized? Caricature? I can't speak. But you know what I'm trying to say. Like, they were caricatures of who they were at the time.
Yes.
And I love Dan's just like complete freak out at the end. They were just so funny.
I think he was really not hurt, but he was affected by the existential crisis of it all. He's like, you know what, I'm gonna one up you, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
be insane.
I just think they both did. Like, they were just so funny. I just thought it was really silly.
And it was really
And I
silly and
think
good.
just that kind of content, like, oh my god, yes, do impressions of each other. Let me see what you think of one another. Like, that's sort of like the vibe of that content. That's why I was like, yes, this is great.
Yes. Yeah. I agree with that one.
Regardless of
Okay.
whether the impressions were actually good or not.
Yes. I think we really got like, we loved making them be like, hey, switch clothes or switch personalities or switch whatever. It's just like, be each other. Tell us what you know. And now they
Yeah,
sort of give that information with no prompting.
yeah. I think it was just that, like, yearning to know more and the yearning to, like, see more into their lives. Like, oh my god, please, like, acknowledge that you are friends and that you live in the same house. And oh my god, share clothes. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah. The stuff we made them do question mark. Yes, we made them do at the time. Pretty. They were truly like in Terrible Influence. Now streaming soon. The doll of it all, like them just kind of being like Ken dolls. We kind of just like, hey, now do this, now do this. Crazy.
But I mean, they did it, so,
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they were happy to do it. So
that's all I'm going to say for that.
yeah.
I mean, we're coming to the end of the video now. We finished. They do some Dan and Phil Dan and Phil games. Well, they do Dan and Phil games spawn, but they also Dan and Phil shop spawn. And this is the birth of the Cat Whiskers Come From Within merch.
Yes. Oh, I think I like the mug the most, which is I think what they said in the
Yeah.
current times as well.
I mean, it's
I
all
just-
incredible. Peak merch. They really monopolized on the branding for it.
They really monopolize on the branding and also just like people loving British stuff at the time, like the whole keep calm and carry on format of
Yes, yes.
like I would have loved that. I remember wanting it along with the mug and the notebook because I was such a notebook freak. So I was like, I want all of this. Um, but yeah, I think I would still, if it's available on eBay or something, I would get.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure someone is selling it.
I would get all of this 100%.
Wow. And it'd be like nostalgic, like vintage merch.
Exactly. Like I'm doing it for the collect. I don't know. I'm not sure what the word is, but I'm doing it because it's vintage, not because I love it that much. I deserve it.
You do. You do deserve it. Hopefully it's on eBay somewhere and you can buy it and live out your cat whisker dreams.
Thank you. I hope so too. I will look. I'll hunt.
So, surprise, we're not only discussing Phil's Not on Fire 6, we're also discussing some bloopers from Phil's Not on Fire 6.
Woo! Bonus! But we have to. We have to.
We have to, it
Otherwise-
makes sense. Otherwise, when else would we talk about it?
Exactly. Like we're not gonna wait until we do it. It's not gonna be fully chronological in that way. But yeah, so we're gonna discuss bloopers, which are almost the same length.
Yeah.
They're both like 5-ish minutes long.
Which is crazy to think about. The fact that PINOF-6 is only 5 minutes long.
Yeah, exactly. They
But
get
so
longer.
much happens.
I thought they would start getting longer by now, but I think it's from 7 or 8 that they get longer. Yeah. I love the bloopers for this one.
Me too. Do you want to hear my controversial opinion?
Yes.
I think the bloopers are better than the actual pin-off.
I agree a little bit. I think they're obviously like, I wouldn't trade lizards for anything.
Exactly, yeah.
And I think they left out the bloopers to be just like sort of questions that aren't movement based. They're just sort of sitting around answering questions. But
Yeah.
I do think it's better. I agree. Why do you think it's better though?
I just think the vibes are better. I don't know. I think, like, I don't think anything that they put in the bloopers I was like, oh, why didn't you put that in the main video? But I think the vibes are just really good. I don't know, like they just seem so giggly and happy. We're like 10 seconds into the bloopers and they're already, it's when they're putting the whiskers on, Dan is like, oh, I'd smash that nose, and Dan is
That's
like, oh, are you attracted to noses? And they're just having this like really casual, like
conversation.
off the cuff conversation about noses, and they're just so giggly and happy, and Dan looks so happy and giddy. And then there's
Yes.
a bit there, someone asked them, what names would you give each other if you didn't know what your name was? And they're literally just like chilling on Phil's bed. Phil is lying down. He's
Yeah.
casual, he's reclined, and Dan
Yeah.
is just chilling. And Phil is like, you look like this cool crazy name. And then Dan is like, you look like a Joe.
Joe. Does he though? Like
No.
I. What does he look like? What do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah.
I don't know, actually. I feel like this is really... I feel like they do look like a Dan and Phil. Like that, those are their names. That's who they are.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I love
agree.
Phil being like, oh, I could be a Brado. And Dan is
Brado.
like, that's not even a name. That's just words you just made up.
Amazing Brado. I also made a note
Imagine.
of that. I did, right? Like I love how tickled he is by it. Like I don't want to be friends with someone named Brado. I was like, that's a bit rude.
We could be watching Brado is Not on Fire right now.
No. What something there was something that I really loved. I think there was they'd asked for a mating call of something, an eagle,
Yes, I can't remember the animal, but yes.
some animal. It was a combination animal, and then Phil does it, and Dan looks at the camera. He's like, "Lady, is this doing it for you?" And I was like, "What lady?" I almost wish they had reacted to the bloopers because I feel like
Oh,
they'd
that
have
would have
more
been
to say,
so good.
right? I feel like they would have had so much to say about it, but oh well.
Oh, well. We can long for that. We'll yearn for the blooper reaction video.
Yeah, if they can give us amazing Dan reactions, why not? Bloopers.
Exactly.
Mm.
One of my other favourite bits about the bloopers was someone asked them to do impressions of their first videos.
Yes.
Again,
Yeah.
so good. Dan's the classic. He's been cyberbullied about that for his entire life. He will never live that down. That will haunt him until he's 95.
Yeah. But Phil, I find his Phil, what's it called, his Phil imitation impression, really interesting because he starts off okay and then he just like, and I think it really is because everything's ace, and I don't remember Phil ever using the word ace on YouTube, so I wonder
I don't
if
know
it
if he
makes
says it
sense.
in the video.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't say it in this video because I remember also thinking this at the time and I went looking. But sorry, I was just moving my earphones. But I wonder if he said it a lot on Skype or if it's just like Phil just
Oh,
Dan just pulled
maybe.
out like a Nordism out and he was like, people from the North say ace. I don't know. I don't know if that's accurate, but
I don't know if it is, but maybe you're right. Maybe he did say it a lot in real life and not necessarily on camera. Either way, I will live for every time that Dan does this impression because he's done it quite a lot. He will whack out, "Hello, my name's Phil. Welcome to my first video blog," and he
and
does
he does
it.
it so well.
He does it in Tit as well. He does a little impression of it, and does he? I think he does. I pulled that from somewhere. I must do.
Mhm.
Well, I'll confirm on Sunday when I watch it again.
Yeah.
But I think he just loves it. I think he just loves doing that little northern impression. It's so funny.
He's just very, very good at it, so it's funny. And obviously, like Phil's little, "Hello, my name is Dan."
Iconic. Yes.
Iconic forever. Ooh, their favorite meme. Dan does obviously dog,
Yes, the little dog.
doge, dog,
And
dog.
and Phil's terrible grumpy cat impression.
I think he did okay. I think he could have had a better, like, I don't think his mouth can do the thing that Grumpy Cat does.
No,
It's
not many can. It's a real skill.
It is. I do also in the dog one when he does it. There's a text that says "much fan,"
Yeah.
which again, like very rare fan mention at the time.
So self-referential.
They love to read the texts, as we said.
Read the scriptures of their
Yes,
fans.
they really do. Even at the time, they really did. So I just wrote down, like, I just repeated something they said while doing the new friendship handshake, like friend handshake, and Phil said,
Yes.
"Get." I think Phil said, "Get under me," and then there's like, this zoom into Dan's face, being like, "Huh," like being horrified by it, which I thought
Yes.
was a very funny edit. Um, Another one was Phil had pollen on him, and
Oh, yes. Yes. I
then
remember
Dan
that.
says, "I wrote the code down." I said, "Isn't pollen technically the reproductive liquid of a man part of a plant?" Is so funny to me because he would not be this vague in 2025. He'd just be like,
He would
"Isn't that
literally
like..."
just be like, that's plant cum. You
Yeah,
got plant
exactly.
cum on your t-shirt, Phil.
Phil would say it like, I think, I was like, that's such a convoluted way of saying that. But hey, 2014.
Yeah. I did make a comment actually. There are so many like innuendos and sexual comments in this video that they sort of very vaguely like skirt around and don't actually
Say,
sort of like properly address. Whereas if they were like to do that now, they'd be all over that.
yeah, yeah, same. I noticed that as well. That's why I was like, maybe this is where like the younger fans came in because they do present almost kids TV hosts esque. Not in this one, but
Yeah.
they will lean towards it, I think, going forward. I will have to make a note of that so that I can bring it up the next time we do this because I always forget. But I think this is where my thoughts are with PINOF at the moment.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
Yeah. But that's it. Like those are
That's it.
those are.
That's pin-offs. Just a quick circle back to Dan and Phil reacting to it, which I think again we've talked about this part before, but this is the
Mhm.
pin-off where Phil says that this is him. He recognises himself, that he thinks that this is
Mm,
him fully matured, 26-year-old Phil. Like he
that's
can see, I think he makes the comment that like he can see who he was and like why he was saying those things.
yeah.
Which
I
is crazy, which I think like I can definitely see that now rewatching it. Like I can be like, this does feel like the Phil that we have today.
It's very close, I
Not
feel
fully
like.
formed, but he's like
Yeah.
the early birthing stages of the Phil we have today.
What a strange thing to say about a 26-year-old man. But I know what you mean. Exactly, I know what you mean. Um, yeah. Yes. I don't know. Again, I just feel like he's putting it on a bit much. But that is Phil, isn't it? Like in front of camera, he will
Yeah.
ham it up a bit, which is fair. I see why he thinks that though. But the way you said 26, I was like, my heart just went whoa because I'm 26, going 27. But uh,
Crazy.
yeah, like imagine you like 10 years or 9 or 10 years later being like, that's me, or like that's the beginning of me. I can see
Yeah.
that I can evolve into this person. Whoa,
Um, Crazy. In contrast to that, Dan says that he was in his mid phase and he doesn't know who this man is yet.
that seems correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got a few more pin-offs to go before Dan finds himself.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to some... I had to have a look through the comments of the
Mm-hmm.
video. A lot of them were just people losing their mind over the PINOF 79 reference
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
the fact that that was a thing. And then there were literal people like in tears crying in the comments because Phil had died before Dan.
That's
Like,
it's okay.
there were so many comments of people like quoting that bit and then being like, I'm so sad, I can't believe they'd say this, I'm so upset, I'm crying. I think I saw one genuine comment from someone that sounded like they had burst into tears when Dan had said that.
Oh, imagine if they. That's what I wonder how many of these people are here now, still being and watching them talk about their wills and having
Honestly.
each other in their wills, possibly, probably. Um,
Crazy.
But yeah, even I saw Dan had put a comment, and I think it was obviously because it was liked so much, it was on top, so it was the anaconda bit where he was like, my fanaconda don't want none unless you got one ton. I don't know if he said fanaconda or anaconda, because in the video it literally, my brain like cannot retain that information. I was like, bye. But in the video they said anaconda. That's all I know. But if you said fanaconda in the comment, that'd be crazy. But yeah, I think that's it. A lot of people like in comments would just quote funny bits. They wouldn't say a
Yeah.
lot.
Which I think we've discussed before. Like that was just the like YouTube comment culture. I feel like people now are literally like, here is my 5,000 word essay on this video and why I enjoyed it.
Yeah, exactly. He does say fanaconda. He said, "Our fanaconda don't want
Perfect.
none unless you got whiskers, hun." Okay,
Wow, nice pin-off reference, Dan.
great. He's also a cactus member. What the hell?
We've discussed this. We literally discussed this.
We have discussed this. I'm always in shock about it.
Our last episode, we had a whole chat because he's paying Phil, and we said, is the money coming out of the joint bank account, or is it?
Yeah. Oh my god, Dodie of Dodlodl fame has also commented saying, Phil, your sassy face is wonderful. Which is
Wow.
fair enough.
Crazy.
Can you believe like other YouTubers would watch them?
Yes, I can. Why shouldn't they?
Why
They could learn a lot from them.
Wow. Is that shade?
No. I just think that Dan and Phil are very good businessmen. Back then, I think they had very good work ethic for YouTube, and I think they put the grind in.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I'm now scrolling. We'll go to outfit and video ranking in a sec.
Yes, shall we do some outfit rankings?
Let's do it.
Before our final thoughts.
Yes.
So, Dan is wearing, spoiler alert, one of my all-time favourite Dan shirts.
Oh, I knew this. Yeah.
You did know this. I love it. I think it's great. The black, the stars, instant easy 10 out of 10 for me.
I gave it a 9 out of 10 because I do love it, but I think he's had better star shirts. My personal one is the Balenciaga. Or is it Balenciaga? Alexander McQueen, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
Right? With the star,
Which one?
the plaid red shirt that he wore to event.
Yes.
Yeah. It also has stars on the collar. I like that one the best, so I've given this a 9.
Okay, that's fair enough. And Phil is sporting some classique vintage 2014 Nyan Cat merch. Who remembers Nyan Cat?
Whoa, blast from the past. I give that a 7.
I also gave it a 7. Crazy.
Crazy. For me, that should have been a sleep t-shirt to me. And he wore it constantly at that NOF.
I like the colour.
Same.
I think he looks good in blue because he's got blue eyes. But Nyan Cat, really? Are we 13 years old, Phil? No.
So mean. But it's right.
He pulls it off. He looks good. I'm not saying he looks bad, but I think that again, he's got much better graphic t-shirts now. I think he had better ones then.
Agree. I also like the black and blue branding that has spanned a decade, apparently. Like, it's been around forever.
Shall we finish with some video rankings?
Let's do it.
So we'll do the video rankings, and then I will read my notes that I wrote. And before we go into our video rankings, in the Dan and Phil React video, Phil said it, but I think Dan agreed, that they said that this was the best pin-off so far.
Oh, yeah, they did.
So, got some big shoes to fill.
But then they also said what I agree with, which is like that 2 was really good, and 2 was my favorite, basically. So I think competition is high.
Competition is high. Yeah.
It's very close to the earlier ones, I would say.
Yes.
Minus the crazy editing, the energy is matching. It's true.
So, Fizz, how many Fanacondas out of 10 will you give Pin-Off 6?
I will give it out of, what did you say? Out of 6?
How did I say out of 6? No, I said Pin-Off 6
A
out of
bit of
10.
6. Out of
I can't
10.
remember what I said.
I will give it, like a 7.5, 8. Pretty
Wow.
high. How about you? How many Fanacondas out of 10 are you giving to that 6?
So I actually wrote my rating down last night, but I've just heard
Mm-hmm.
yours, and now I feel like I've ranked it too high.
Oh, really? No, don't. Like, I already said, like, you can tell this is not my favorite one, so, like, don't worry about
Okay.
it.
So I gave this a 10 out of 10, combined with the bleepers.
Oh, wow. Is this your favorite then? Like, so far?
I don't know. No, so I did go back actually and listen to our previous Pin-Off episodes to
Mm-hmm.
write down our rankings so that when we come to do this again, we can remember.
Yeah.
So I also gave Pin-Off 3 a 10.
Okay. 3 and 6. That makes sense, I guess.
We didn't do rankings for the first 2, apart from you saying that number 2 was your favourite, but I didn't give a ranking. So I gave Pin-Off 3 a 10, 4 a 9, and 5 a 7.
Ooh, maybe you
And
just
you
like
gave...
Pin-Offs.
Maybe I do just like Pin-Off. Wow, that's crazy. Their most popular video series? I like it. Wow.
Wow.
So yeah, I think maybe a 10 out of 10.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm sure a lot of people agree with you, seeing that it is the most viewed Pin-Off.
Yeah, please let us know if you've listened to this and watched Pin-Off 6 after listening to our episode talking about it. Please let us know. Do you agree with me or Fizz? Do you have completely different rankings? Do you hate this one? Is this your favourite? Please tell us.
Please let us know.
Let's start a little
Anywhere.
chat.
Yeah. We have comments on like Spotify, I think. So you can chat there, or obviously Tumblr Ask is open.
We have a Tumblr, we have a Twitter. Come and join our community. Let's make it like it's a club. We're like a book club, but we watch Dan and Phil videos and talk about them instead.
Exactly. Please tell us your initial reactions in 2014. Let's go back in time.
Right, so this is actually crazy, considering that I've just given this video 10 out of 10 as to what I'm about to read to you right now.
Oh my god.
So I think, the timestamp says 10:30, which I presume was in the morning, which I don't understand. Yeah, I think I'd written it the morning of it was going to be released. Maybe I predicted that it was going to be released on that day.
Okay.
I've always looked forward to Pin-Off these past 3 years because we very rarely got Dan and Phil collabs and content, but this last year we've had so many. They've been in each other's videos a lot more than in the past, and I can't help but feel a bit deflated about it.
Oh, what? That's crazy. You would never say that.
That is
now.
crazy. I would never say that now. I'd be like, please, why give me more joint content? I think this is a sentiment I have said previously on the podcast on another Pin-Off episode. I think because Pin-Offs felt like this such big special thing, because for so long it was the only joint, like guaranteed joint content that we got, which made it like extra special. And then I think it just felt a bit like oversaturated because we got so much other joint content.
Yeah.
We would have had 2 years of the radio show at this point. Dan and Phil Games had just started. They'd done all that other stuff with BBC Radio 1. We'd literally got a joint baking video not even a week before this.
Yeah,
And
it is a lot. Yeah.
I think 2014 me just wanted to hold on to the sanctity and like how sacred joint content was. That was like Pin-Off.
That was Pin-Off. That's so fair.
Now I'm like, nah, give me a 2-hour gaming video and I'll sit and watch it, consume it, please.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's no, like we can very openly be like, yeah, I want more, thank you. Like, 14 of those more, please. And thank you. And but I understand 2014, you saying that.
Yeah.
I was
Which
initially
is crazy
shocked. I
to
was like,
look.
whoa.
Yeah. Because it's crazy to think, like, if I showed that to anybody now, they'd be like, why do you not want more joint content? Because, like, that's a crazy thing to say in 2025.
I think people
But I
still
just,
kind of say that. Yeah, it's not a popular opinion, 100%.
but yeah, so I thought that was interesting and crazy
Hmm.
that I just found that by chance yesterday because I was looking.
Thank God. Like, we love to
Honestly,
archive.
that's what this podcast is about.
It is.
Archiving, we're analysing, we're discussing, debriefing.
Debriefing.
So that brings us to the end of the episode. Thank you all so much for listening and joining in. Please let us know your thoughts. Was this your favourite pin-off? Was it your least favourite pin-off? What did you think?
What
Please
did you
tell us.
think? Please tell us. And now, before we go, I will just let you know what we're doing next episode.
Yes, please, because I have no idea.
Ooh, I took a note because I'm a professional. But we are going into the next year. We're going to 2015,
Thank
which
God.
2014 has been such a long year. Um, yeah, so this is pretty exciting actually. We're doing another amazing fill video.
Ooh.
Yep. Do you want to take a guess? Like, do you have any idea?
I guess.
Before before I tell you, but like,
Let me have a think. I Is it some sort of like challengey video maybe?
kind of. They don't call it a challenge. I'll just tell you. That's fine.
Okay. I'm not
Okay.
gonna guess it, so yeah, just tell me.
So next episode we are doing Dan and Phil punk edits in real life.
Oh my God. Wow. Do you know what? I think I've maybe only watched that video once or twice.
That's gonna be. I've watched this video so many times. So,
Wow. That's so fun. Oh my God. I'm so excited to watch that. It's like a little
so yeah,
treat.
it's like a little treat. Like, it's gonna be like the first time you watched it.
And it's so it's so funny me saying that as if like I can't just go and watch it anytime I want. But I'm like, oh yay, I get to watch it for the podcast.
And I feel like for sure we will have like genuine reactions for these because that was such a wild video from what I
Hmm.
remember. So yeah, that'll
We'll
be
do some
exciting.
digging. That is very
Yeah.
exciting. Again, thank you everybody for listening. We hope to see you next time on the next episode of the Best Friends Club podcast.
Bye.
Goodbye.